Hey everybody, this is Hatem Hannoun and welcome to the first ever episode of Bait.com Career Talk. Through the series, we'll be taking you through what you need to know to start and grow your career, as well as discussing the latest and trending topics that matter to you in your work life. We'll also be answering some of your questions, so be sure to send in your questions to careertalk@bait.com. We're leaving the email address in the description box down below. So for those of you who came across this video and aren't familiar with Bait.com, what we do here is we are the #1 job site in the Middle East and North Africa, operating out of 13 different offices. Right here, this is just one of them. This is the headquarters in Dubai. What we do is we work to deliver a platform that makes it easy for you as a job seeker to find the largest number of jobs and apply to them with complete ease. And if you happen to be an employer looking for that perfect candidate to fill that position, this is the place for you as well. We give you the largest number of candidates to go through. All right, so let's get right into the first episode, and we're gonna get into it with the most important thing. A lot of you have trouble writing a CV. A lot of you don't know where to start. A lot of you may think it's easy and have a CV written, but it just doesn't work for you and you don't know why. And this is why we're starting with CV writing for the first episode. And I'm not gonna go through the details and the boring stuff that you can find by Googling anything. I'm gonna let you know how the system works from an employer's side so that you know how to cater your CV to them. In a nutshell, what happens is employers get thousands of applicants for every position, right? The job market is becoming increasingly competitive, and therefore you need to know what you need to do to stand out for that employer. When they get 1,000 CVs, how do you make sure that you capture their attention, right? How do you get their time, something very valuable to them? They have a ton of tasks to do throughout the day. Screening CVs is not the most enjoyable thing for them, and we need to make sure that we make it something very valuable for them. And how do we make it valuable? Very simple. Start off with what they're asking for. A lot of people that we see, so what we do is we work with job seekers at a lot of events and career fairs, and we sit and we hear feedback from job seekers. We look at their CVs, hear their struggles, and a lot of the times just job seekers don't know what to write. And it's very simple once you understand the logic behind it. So an employer will write in a job description what they're looking for. We're looking for a candidate with 0 to 2 years experience, with a background in marketing, for example, creative thinker, problem solver, leader, XYZ. From your side, you need to make sure that your CV matches what they're looking for, assuming, of course, you do have the requirements they're asking for. So before you start anything, and I think this might be the biggest challenge or struggle or problem that people face, is that when they come to write the CV, first thing they do is they'll sit alone and think to themselves, what have I done? What have I studied? What projects have I done? What experience do I have? What skills do I have? And they'll just write everything down on a CV. But what we need to do is understand what the market is asking for first. And you do that by looking at some job descriptions. So very simply put, go on Bait.com, open up 5 or 6 or 7 job descriptions for the type of job that you want at that same career level. Have them all in front of you. First step is studying the market. What are they looking for and how are they asking for it? Now, let's take a simple example. Sales position, entry-level sales position at a multinational firm. Open up 4 or 5 different job descriptions from different companies. You'll find they're all looking for similar qualities, similar skill sets, similar experiences. You need to note these down, assuming again you have these skills and these experiences. Find out what the market is asking for from a salesperson at an entry-level position. Now that we know what the market is asking for, we need to make sure we include this in our CV or our online profile. Because what happens is once you apply, how is an employer going to go through 1,000 CVs? We make their life easier as well. As much as we try to make your life easy in applying to jobs, we need to make it easy for an employer to filter through 1,000 CVs to find the right candidate. So we give them tools. And you've heard this before, is that your CV is screened out by the system, right? That you need to have the right keywords in the system. This all goes back to what the job description is asking for and what you have in your CV and how well that matches up. So before doing anything, you study the job descriptions, what is the market asking for, and you include them in the CV. If they're looking for someone, and let's assume, for example, all 7 of the job descriptions you looked at are all looking for someone who is self-driven or self-motivated. They've all written that down in their job descriptions. Therefore, you need to write that down in your job description. If you feel like you are self-motivated, self-driven, and they've asked for that, you write it down so that when you apply to that job, then you match up as a relevant candidate. That's what the system is all about, right? So before you go Googling top keywords to include in a CV for a salesperson, that doesn't work. What are they asking for and how do I match up? So that's the first step. Understanding what is needed to put in your CV so that you match up with the system. And we make that a little easier for you through your profile on Bait, when you apply to a job, you get instant feedback, right? Instant feedback from the system. It tells you how relevant you are compared to other candidates and how relevant you are in general to that job description. If you read a job description for a position that you think you are perfect for, you looked at that job description, you know, and your eyes lit up and you felt like, I'm perfect, I am definitely getting this job. But then you apply to the job and you rank only 3 out of 5 in CV relevancy, and you're ranking amongst the 300 candidates as 286. That means you need to go back and rework your CV in a way where the system understands you as a relevant candidate, right? So you can do this repeatedly. Keep tweaking and reworking your CV to match up closer to the job description. Now, this leads to another question. Now, can't anyone write whatever they see in the job description just to match up closer? Theoretically, yes, you can, right? And that just saves the employer the first step. That's what the system does. In the first step, instead of looking at 1,000 candidates, they have the tools to make their life easier and look at maybe 100 candidates instead, right? What will happen is you will eventually get caught out. If you are lying on your CV just to match up with the job description, you will get caught out eventually, and you will be known by the employer as someone who's made up things on the CV and maybe flagged even, and you don't want that to happen. If you're not suitable for a position with the employer right now, recruiters are always looking for ways to save themselves time. So if you're not suitable for a position for themselves now, they might have another position coming up in a few months that they think you're perfect for. They will mark you and keep you aside to look at you later just as an easy point of reference. So make sure to never really make up things or exaggerate too much on a CV just to match up with the job description. If you don't get caught out in the first step, you'll get caught out in the interview. It doesn't work out. So best to focus on your strengths, where you stand out, and which jobs best cater to your strengths, where you feel like you can be of added value. So that's the first step in terms of understanding the keywords, understanding what information to include in your CV, and applying and using the numbers that you get to understand where you stand when you apply to a position. All right, so that's all nice and well. You've applied, you've gotten past the system. Now the recruiter is looking at your profile. How do you capture their attention in a way where they want to read more? You may have heard this before, that an employer will look at your CV for about 6 to 8 seconds. They don't have time, but they know exactly what they want, and they'll be skimming through your CV looking for exactly what they've asked for. So after they filtered through the CVs, they've landed with 20 CVs in their hand, they'll be going through them, right? And you need to stand out for them and capture their attention and incentivize them to read more, because you're telling them that I am the relevant candidate you've asked for. This goes back to the job description. It's not just a matter of putting in every single keyword in your CV, having a 5-page long CV that ends up wasting the recruiter's time because they can't find what they're looking for in your CV. Stick to the point. If you're going to go by 2 words and write in your CV, make sure it's relevant and concise, straight to the point. Another mistake a lot of young people do is they'll try to over-impress in their CV. They'll try to go above and beyond. I've done so and so and so and so, which may not be directly relevant to the job description or what they've asked for in the immediate time. So what the CV is doing right now is just showing them that I have what you guys have asked for. Give me a call and let me learn more about you, and you learn more about me. So that's what we're trying to accomplish there. So understanding what keywords to put in and keeping the CV concise and straight to the point. You guys have asked for someone who has experience in marketing, who's a creative thinker, who has experience with some sort of advertising project, let's say. You've listed that down and you're showing them I have exactly what you've asked for. Keep the CV brief. If you can keep it to 1 to 2 pages, 1 page is, even if you're a fresh graduate, that should be more than enough. Then by all means keep it just to 1 page. Give them the exact information they're looking for, they'll love you for it. Over a phone call, they'll get to know more about you. Hey, you said you're a creative thinker on your CV. Give us an example where you've been acknowledged or praised for your creative thinking ability. Over the phone, you can impress them. Over the phone, you can take the conversation wherever you want to take them. A lot of people feel confident that if only I get that first interview, if only I can speak to them, then I'll show them I'm the right candidate. But if your CV is weak, if it's lacking, if it doesn't match up with what they've asked for, you're not getting that phone call. You're not getting that interview. So that's what we need to focus on here. So I have with me here 2 documents that we're leaving in the description box below. You'll find the link where you can download them. The first one here is a CV checklist. It takes you through the basic points that you need to know to include in your CV. The second one, and I think this would be really useful, is a sample of a perfect CV. And what I mean by perfect, now we need to clarify that there is no wrong and right way to write a CV. It's all about writing an effective CV that meets its objective of showing them that you are the right candidate for the position they've asked for. So what I mean by write CV is in terms of formatting and in terms of our experience. We've done this for 17 years. We've seen CVs evolve. We've seen recruiters and companies' needs evolve in the way they go about hiring. So this is a culmination of our 17 years of working with CVs. We've put it in a sample CV that's easy to understand. You can replicate this format and go about filling in your details and your information in it. It should make your life a lot easier. So that goes in terms of CV. Basic sections we want in a CV, and you'll find this in more detail in the sample CV we're leaving in the description. Career objective, right? So this is right under your contact information. Career objective is arguably one of the more important sections of a CV because it sets the context for the rest of the CV. Who are you, what you do, and what are you looking for? Now the title career objective may be a little misleading because people will often write about their objectives. I'm looking to work somewhere where I can grow, where I can develop and work with great people and express my creativity and so on and so forth. The reality is a company is hiring you because they feel like you will be giving them the return that they want, the return on their investment. So as amazing as it is to hear about your ambitions, you need to let the company know that you know what their objectives are and how you see yourself of being of added value and helping them with their objective. So you need to understand your role. If you're a marketing person, if you're a salesperson, what is required from a marketing or a salesperson at a company? What is your objective? If you're a salesperson, maybe you want to increase or improve client relationships. Maybe you want to retain clients. Maybe you want to drive sales. If you're marketing, maybe you want to explore different ways of reaching your target audience. Whatever it is, understand what is the objective of having such a position in a company and where you would be of added value, and you address that directly in the career objective. So you let them know, simply put, and you'll see this in the example, I am a fresh graduate with a degree in marketing seeking an entry-level position, let's say in a media agency or a creative agency, where I can contribute to the growth of the agency by exploring new channels of reaching the target audience or exploring new ways of reaching the target audience. Now, this is just an example. Those of you in marketing will know exactly where your value added is, and likewise for sales and engineering and so on. So that's the career objective. Let them know who you are and how you intend to help the company with their objective. Second section is skills. Now, I say second section, there is no, again, right and wrong way to the order of the CV. It's all about effectiveness. What will keep their attention in reading the CV? If, for example, you have a lot of work experience or significant work experience, then you may need to put that a bit higher in your CV. If you don't have much work experience as a fresh graduate, your skill set may be your biggest selling point. You might want to rank that higher. The example, again, that we're leaving in the description box below will take you through the types of skill sets, the types of work experiences that you may need to write and how to write them. Right? Moving on from there, there'll be the education section, very basic. You're just listing where you studied, what you're currently studying with the expected graduation date, awards and honors, and your personal information, of course, critical, so they know how to reach you and who you are, your background, and so on and so forth. And aside from the sample CV that we've left in the description box below, we're making your life even easier. On Bait.com, when you come to build your profile, you'll find a state-of-the-art CV builder that makes your life a lot easier. So you don't have to worry about formatting, where to put things, and what font, how big, how small, underline, bolded. You don't need to worry about any of that. It's a very straightforward CV builder that requires you to put in your information in the right places. And just like that, you have an effective online profile that you can then use to apply to any job you find on Bait.com, and you'll find tons of jobs. There are new jobs every single day. As we've mentioned, 13 different offices, all working to get you the best jobs from across the region. So check back every single day, sometimes more than once a day, if you want to find the jobs that you're looking for and apply to them. Keep your eyes on the statistics, understand where you stand amongst the other applicants, so you know what to refine, what to improve, and to know what to expect when you apply to a job. And that's it for our first episode of Bait.com Career Talk. If you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, leave your comment down below. Let us know what you want to see in these videos. Let us know what challenges you have. And we will be dedicating special mailbag episodes to address your questions. So make sure to send us your questions to careertalk@bait.com. We're also leaving that email in the description box down below. And don't forget to subscribe. More videos will be coming out. We're trying to help from this angle. Maybe having this two-way communication will be useful for all of you. Let us know what you're looking for, and we're here to help you out with that.